array installed at a later date, and then that leaves just 2 power channels remaining to be upgraded. And on your screen you do have a view there of the channels that have already been upgraded. Today's spacewalk will be on the 2A in the yellow there on your screen. The current solar arrays are functioning well, but have begun to show expected signs of degradation as they were designed for a 15-year service life. And today we are celebrating this year we are celebrating a milestone for the International Space Station. 25 years of continuous human presence. We'll celebrate that in November. The very first pair of space station solar arrays were deployed in December of 2000 and have been powering the space station for more than 20 years. The new solar arrays are being positioned in front of those 6 current arrays, which will increase the station's total available power from 160 kilowatts to a maximum of 215 kilowatts. First out of the hatch today will be NASA astronaut Anne McClain. She'll be wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes.
We are going to be stepping into the procedures. So with that, and your first step is to open the hatch thermal cover.
Copy. I'll be opening the thermal cover, and I do see 6 lines visible on the AET.
Copy those.
And I'll be filling it on the ring.
Good words. Once the thermal cover is open, you'll egress the airlock and turn your HECA on.
Copy. Right. It is sped back onto the ring, and I still see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We copy?
And the thermal cover is now open.
EV1 is partially out of the airlock. HECA is on.
Copy, and HECA is on. You're going to start by attaching your anchor hook to the aft airlock external D-ring.
Copy, that's in work.
And vapor for you as you wait.
Vapor.
And then once you have your anchor hook, Vapors is going to go on the forward airlock external D-ring, and Vapor, as you wait next for you, is going to be handing out either the cable bag or the strap bag. You just let us know.
All right, Marcos, my safety tether is attached to the aft D-ring extender and gate closed slider lock black on black. I'll be working on Vapors.
Copy.
And first out of the airlock is NASA astronaut Anne McClain. This is the 3rd spacewalk of her career. She's again wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. Next up will be Nichole Ayers, her first spacewalk today. She'll be wearing the unmarked spacesuit. First order of business for our spacewalkers today will be to...
Right, UV2, safety tether anchor is on the forward airlock D-ring. Gate closed, slider locked, black on black.
Copy, and you can give Vapor a go to release her waste tether from the airlock D-ring extender when it's applicable, and then next will be to receive the bag from Vapor.
Okay. So Vapor, you can do your waste tether anytime you want. You have a good tether path. Okay, copy that. I've got the cable bag. I see it. Out, ready for you. I'm coming into a good position to grab it here. Okay, 1 by 1.
First order of business for McClain and Ayers will be to get the 8-foot-long strut bag out of the airlock, as well as the tool bag that will be utilized during today's spacewalk. They'll then translate to the port side of the International Space Station, heading to the work site of the modification kit structure, or mod kit.
Okay, so we're going to cable bag first. Copy. All right, 1 by 1. I'm about to grab it with my BRT RET. Copy. All right, my BRT RET is on the cable bag. You are good to release the airlock, large, small. And I have my BRT on that as well. Okay, the airlock RET is released. Copy. So this for translation, and then my hand to help you with EV3.
And Vapor, you'll put that RET on the airlock D-ring extender.
Marcus, I threw it on the airlock D-ring to leave the extender free. That works.
Copy that. That works. Thanks.
And if you're just joining us, we are now 12 minutes into the 275th spacewalk outside the International Space Station.
I kind of need back toward you a little bit. Okay.
Today's spacewalk began at 8:05 a.m. Central. NASA astronaut Anne McClain is outside of the airlock. She's wearing the spacesuit with the red stripes. Nichole Ayers is working to get out of the airlock as well. She'll be wearing the unmarked spacesuit today. The goal of today's spacewalk is to complete a modification kit build and installation on the International Space Station ahead of upcoming solar array upgrades, as well as relocate a common communications for visiting vehicles antenna, otherwise known as C2V2.
And then it kind of got pulled aft. Okay, I do have a hand on it. I'm not ready to it, so let's go. And to help it, pulling it here.
At this time, McClain and Ayers are working to remove the strut bag from the crew lock, as well as the tool bag that will be utilized during today's spacewalk.
So if you just stabilize it, I can get my RET on it. Okay. Okay, I have a RET on it. Okay. We'll release the airlock RET. Okay. Okay, the airlock RET is released, and Marcus, I'm just going to let that send back to the handrail.
Copy that, Vapor.
You should just need one on the way in. Vapor. Right. So I'm going to position myself around to the aft and give you the forward to mount.
The strut bag that McClain and Ayers are working to get out of the airlock is about 8 feet long,
Okay.
and it contains the pieces of the modification kit that will be assembled during today's spacewalk.
CSC is back in the patch. Both are good. Copy. I think you're clear to egress. Got the forward side.
And those are good words. And if you have a free hand, it looks like your HECA was turned off, so if you can turn it back on for us, we'd appreciate it.
Okay, it's back on, green light.
Copy. And after you've egressed vapor, next will be to put that strut bag on your BRT, and I'll have more words for you.
And now out of the hatch is NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers. Again, today is her first spacewalk, and this is the third for NASA astronaut Ann McClain in the suit with the red stripes.
Hazard and everything get situated before we hand off.
And a vapor question for you, whether or not you wanted to do the translation adaptation with or without the strut bag.
I feel like I did a lot of translation adaptation in the airlock, but
Yeah, whatever you feel comfortable
I'm
is for you. Copy.
Everybody's okay with that, yeah.
Copy that. Then you can continue with the strut bag. Tape towards your head.
All right, you can kind of GCA me because I can't totally see the handrail. Okay, so the is towards my head. Tape it a little bit.
We'll get your ret to the non-taped end of the handrail stanchion vapor.
Copy. And now move it, hold it right there. Okay, we're good. Yep. Okay, my ret is on the non-taped end, the handrail. Okay, you have a ret on it? I do. Okay, before you pull it your way, I'm going to take my ret off. Copy. Okay, my ret's off. Back on my NWS. All right, how can I help you get this situated here? My BRT on it now. She is on it. Basically, the end that's by my feet is up towards. I get mine back where it was. I was there. I'm going to put this adjustable on my workstation. Okay.
And now out of the airlock is also that strut bag, that long 8-foot long strut bag that has the pieces of the modification kit that will be assembled and installed during today's spacewalk. And we are getting a view from NASA astronaut Ann McClain's helmet camera here.
Okay. We're done.
Good job, the both of you. And Vapor will have you turn your HECA on.
Okay.
And we'll go with buddy checks after.
Okay.
With the strut bag and the tool bag out of the airlock,
Vapor, I can see
McClain and Ayers will now work to translate to the port side of the space station.
I can see your spacer handles down. I can see your heck of light. I've got your heck of light, and I've got 3 tabs up. So your left spacer handle is down. Now to your left equivalent, right spacer handle is down, so both spacer handles are down. And your tools and tethers look right clean to me. Let me have your camera real quick. Have a tether that.
And can you confirm that both of Vapor's safer handles are down?
Yes, her safer handles are down.
Copy that. We'll get a baseline hap check from the both of you.
And my hap for EV1 is dry. Yep, can you wait for a little bit? My hap is dry as well for EV2. All right, back on. Nicely done.
Copy that. Nicely done. We can close the thermal cover now, and as that's being closed, I'll read 2 cautions before you start translating. Vapor, for you with a strut bag on, we're going to limit your translation speed, so think very slow, 0.7 feet per second. And then just as a reminder, you've got the tusk cables on phase 1, and nadir and zenith where the cedar rails are.
Copy you.
It's 2 minutes until TDRS handover and also KU handover, so we'll lose video for 16 minutes.
1 copy. Thermal covers closed.
Copy, thermal covers closed. We can start translating port for the both of you. Vapor, you are going to lead. First step is going to be green hook drop-off.
Okay. Great. Did work.
And with the thermal cover now closed, both McClain and Ayers will work to translate to the port side of the International Space Station, which is the work site of the modification kit structure for today. You also heard the duo perform what is called buddy checks. This is essentially a check to make sure everything on their spacesuit is working and looking as expected. These will take place throughout the spacewalk and include looking at gloves, looking at the helmet absorption pad, as well as making sure that their safer is in the proper configuration.
Copy.
We are approaching a period of time.
Okay, I have a second corner of the cable bag on 5109. Get the cables out here. And again, vapor your tether is free. Okay. The bag open, I'm going for the upper sprint.
Copy, and after the cables are outside the bag, you'll translate starboard to pick up your green hook prior to going to the starboard seat of cart.
Copy. All right, cables are out. And Vapor, I think that our original plan, I think these will reach over there. Okay, you need it.
And we are getting some views now on our screen of some of those cables that NASA astronaut Ann McClain is working to remove ahead of the build of the modification kit this morning. We are 43 minutes into today's spacewalk, which began officially at 8:05 a.m. Central Time. Today is the 275th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
And we are not receiving your HECA stream. Do you mind pressing the HECA button again?
Sure. Hey, let me know if you see it.
Copy.
All right, Vapor, I'm going to go on a little walk. I'll see you shortly. All right, have fun.
And we copy, and you'll translate starboard, pick up green hook.
Copy and work. Because I've got the right upper strut out. 13 and 14. And my gauntlets are in place, Marcos.
Copy, and appreciate that. And just remember the test cables on phase 1. Copy, Vapor. You've got the mounting bracket and the right upper strut. Make sure that the EV3 PGT is available for you, and you're going to be aligning the right upper strut with the mounting bracket.
Is nearby.
And Vapor, there should be a groove on the mounting bracket where the alignment tab is going into, and then on the side of the mounting bracket, you'll have black lines to let you know that you're aligned.
And this view of NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers' helmet cam as she works to prepare and assemble the strut to the mass canister. The upper triangle consists of 2 struts and a mounting bracket. Ayers will use the pistol grip tool, or PGT, to secure these pieces together before installing it onto the mod kit structure.
EV1 is at the green hook, and I'll work on picking mine up.
Copy, Ann. After you'll go to the starboard cedar cart to pick up the bundle. It's WIF 1. It's inboard and nadir, down and right.
Copy, thank you. Marcus, I have, for EV2, got 4 turns on M13 and M14.
Copy, good turns, M13, M14. Next, you'll grab your PGT, and I'll have settings when you're ready.
The next bolt is 17.
And a good view inside of the bag there with the remaining pieces that will be assembled today.
You can actually continue and retrieve the left upper strut. It's a Velcro's straps 1 and 2.
I think that's it. All right, EV1 has my green hook, and I'm going to continue translation.
All right, we copy, and starboard cedar cart, WIF 1.
While Ayers is working on assembly of the modification kit, NASA astronaut Anne McClain is translating to pick up an APFR, or articulating portable foot restraint, that will be utilized during later portions of today's spacewalk to help secure the assembled triangle to the modification kit.
And Vapor, with that left upper strut, you are going to align it with the center pad. And you'll check that the pit pin lanyard is free of the clevis before we do PGT ops.
The pit pin lanyard is clear of the clevis.
And we have your heck of view again. Sorry, I didn't tell you.
All good. Welcome back. Just passing the seat of spur. Vapor, I watched your tether all the way in. It looks great. Thank you.
And we copy.
Passing the port seater cart.
And if you're just joining us this morning, we are approaching the 1 hour mark of today's spacewalk with NASA astronauts Anne McClain, who is serving as EV1 wearing a spacesuit with red stripes, as well as NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers, who you see a helmet view on your screen there as she works to use the pistol grip tool to assemble the upper triangle.
And looking for whiff 1, bottom right, inboard nadir.
Today's spacewalk is the third for McClain and the first for Ayers.
The hand start on my clevis, and Tina's giving me a little time on the work quick.
The goal of today's spacewalk is to install a modification kit in preparation for ongoing solar array upgrades to the International Space Station and relocate a communications antenna for visiting spacecraft to the orbiting lab.
A whiff extender and an APFR.
That is the one, and you're going to put that on your BRT. Once that's complete, you'll head starboard, but first you'll do the brake release.
Copy.
And vapor, from your HECA view, it looks like there may be a ret that is situated in a way that it's making it difficult to hold the upper triangle in place. So a recommendation is for you to lock the ret if you think it's necessary.
And on the screen here now, we see views of both NASA astronaut Anne McClain and Nichole Ayers' helmet cameras. Ayers is continuing to, on the right of your screen, is continuing to assemble the upper triangle portion of the modification kit. Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Anne McClain on the left of your screen is working to translate to a SETA cart where she will install the articulating portable foot restraint that she picked up previously.
Copy that, Anne.
Do you have a BRT ret on it?
And getting a good view now as Nichole Ayers works to assemble that upper triangle, you can really see it start to take shape. The upper triangle does consist of 2 struts and a mounting bracket. Once McClain joins Ayers, Ayers will hand that upper triangle to McClain, who will install it on the mass canister of the beta gimbal assembly, or BGA structure.
Say again, vapor.
So CBT has 2 turns started on the inside.
Vapor, we heard 2 turns started on M17. Looks like you have your PGT settings are Bravo 1 clockwise 2.
And Mark, I set Golf on the pitch on the WIFX.
Copy Golf on the WIFX. Appreciate that. Copy Golf on the WIFX. Appreciate that. And again, Ann, once that's complete, you'll be headed back to your work site. Green hook, but first SETA brakes.
Copy. On my EV, the good sound, good LED test, and 41.7.
And Vapor, can you say again, you're coming in kind of broken?
Got a good cal test on the PG 41.2 volts. A good LED test. I've got Bravo 1 clockwise 2 set.
Copy good cal, Bravo 1 clockwise 2. Looking for an additional 5 to 7 turns. You'll drive M17 to torque.
Marcos, I have 2 good pumps on the port SETA cart. Direction starboard.
Copy that, and next will be the port SETA cart.
And Ayers is using the pistol grip tool, or PGT, essentially a space drill, to help assemble that upper triangle we discussed.
Marcos for EVT, that was 6 turns. Got a green light. 11.9 on this. Back under the MT.
Copy Vapor, if you can confirm that the black line is flush.
Black line is flush.
And Vapor, that is a good M17. you can release the rep from the right upper strut.
Because I have two good full pumps on the port SATA cart, because you know what they say, pumps a day keeps the burr away.
Oh, we agree with that statement. Good job. And next will be to continue translating port to your green hook location, just nadir of the FHRC. Same place as previous.
Okay, copy. I'm going to pause here and get this APFR in a little bit of a different config. Just wanting to jump around a little more than I expected.
And we copy.
And this is a view of NASA astronaut Anne McClain. She is serving as EV1 during her third spacewalk today, as you can tell by the spacesuit she's wearing with the red stripes. She is working to readjust the APFR, or articulating portable foot restraint.
And Vapor, just catching up with
come
you.
Back out your way, Vapor.
She will utilize this to help install the upper triangle that Ayers is building as we speak. McClain will need to use the APFR to help install the upper triangle on the mass canister of the Beta gimbal assembly.
To the center pad grounding block.
I did not. I got it.
Copy. After the pip pin, I'll have instructions for MLI, so just let me know once that's done.
And I'm going back by the SATA spur.
Copy, Ann.
And as we get this pan of the International Space Station truss structure, you're getting a good view of the handrails, which is what the crew utilizes when they translate or move from one location of the International Space Station to the other.
Marcos, the pin is installed.
Copy, Vapor. Can you verify that the pip pin for the right upper strut is still installed?
Yes.
Sweet. And then you can install the left upper strut MLI on the center pad, covering the L2 clevis, as well as the right upper strut MLI.
What? All right, Marcus, I am back at 3652. Work on the green hook again.
Copy. And after that, you'll be continuing starboard to your work site to install the bundle.
In this view of Nichole Ayers' helmet cam of the upper triangle, she has been in the process of installing multi-layer insulation, or MLI, around the upper triangle. It's that white fabric material that you do see.
How many turns you started on M15?
4.
Copy. That's good turns on M15. We'll work on M16. I've got PGT settings when you're ready. Bravo 3 clockwise 2 on EV3 PGT.
Yeah, I've got Bravo 3 clockwise 2.
Copy, you're going to be driving M16 to torque. Expect 24 to 25 turns, and we'll get the black line flush call.
Yeah, it works. Green hook, EV1 on 3652.
And I copied your last, and just ensure that your gauntlets are down prior to crossing the Sarge.
Copy, will do.
McClain is continuing her translation or movement over to where NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers is. Once there, she will assist her in finishing up the build of the upper triangle portion before they work together to install it on the mass canister.
Hey, we're going for EDC M16, about 22.5 turns. Green light for the torque. And the black line is flush.
And Vapor, can you say those numbers again for us, please?
At 22.5, 22.5 turns, 0.8 on the torque. Right, black line flush. For EV1, my gauntlets are in place. I'm switching to Sarge.
And Vapor, we're talking here on the ground real quick, and copy, your gauntlets are down. You're proceeding to the work site. Just note you've got the radiator and the PVR handrail. Do not touch, and you'll be dropping off the bundle on with
25. 20, actually.
And we are approaching a day pass here, as you can tell on your screen as it is getting brighter.
Slowly. We're just having a hard time reading you. It's coming in a little broken.
The International Space Station is currently flying 262 statute miles over the North Pacific Ocean off the coast of Alaska.
Green light, black line, big flush. All right, I'm back on the IA with you. With you.
And we're discussing Vapor. And Vapor, we're expecting 24 turns. We got about 22 and a half. So we'd like you to hit M16 one more time to torque.
Okay.
And a really great view here of NASA astronaut Ann McClain as well as NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers. Ayers is on the left and building that triangle. McClain is on the right in the spacesuit with the red stripes, and you can see the articulating portable foot restraint that she brought over to assist in the build.
Our work site, we're going to get kind of close together, so let me know if I'm in your way. Okay. That's for easy. Scout 18.3 light, and that was no turn.
Copy, no additional turns we'll discuss. And for you, look like it's in work with 25. The clocking is 6. You already have the pitch at Gulf, so expect the handrail to be facing towards the IEA.
Copy. I'm stopping at 5145 to get a rich man's fare lead in.
And we copy in, thanks.
So CB2 for your essay, the PD during count is 22.98. That's my basic.
And in Vapor, we're going to proceed driving M15 to torque. So expect an additional 20 turns. It is Bravo 3 clockwise 2.
Okay. I have Bravo 3 clockwise 2 set as 15.15.
Copy.
If you're just joining us this morning, you're looking at a live view of 2 NASA astronauts outside the International Space Station performing a spacewalk. On your left of your screen is NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers completing her very first spacewalk today. On the right of your screen is NASA astronaut McClain with a spacesuit in red stripes on her third spacewalk. The primary tasks for the spacewalkers today is to install a support bracket called a modification kit, which will prepare the site for future installation and deployment of the fourth of 6 new International Space Station rollout solar arrays, or IROSAs. Additionally, the duo will relocate a communications antenna called the Common Communications for Visiting Vehicles, or C2V2 antenna, to ensure better redundancy in communication with visiting spacecraft to the International Space Station. And this view of McClain and Ayers helmet cams showing them at their respective work sites. McClain is working to translate or move over to where Ayers is at to continue to help with the triangle build as well as install it to the mass canister. And through McClain's helmet camera on the left of your screen, you do see the Earth as the International Space Station flies 262 statute miles overhead.
To torque. Same settings, Bravo 3 clockwise 2.
Bravo 3 clockwise 2, looking M15.15 again. Goes for M15.15. Had a green light already up, but I had a green light with 18.4 on the torque and no additional turns.
Copy, no additional turns, Vapor, we're discussing. And Vapor, just give us a minute, we're checking. And Vapor, we have a troubleshooting step for you. Can you look at the interface of the struts and just make sure that nothing is caught in between, no MLI, and that it is flush?
So the MLI is not in between mountain bracket and the upper strut. These black lines are aligned. Oh, it's flush.
We copy all Vapor, and the reason we're asking, we're just expecting one more turn on each of those bulbs, so we're discussing. And N looks like it's in work. The extension will be 5.
Yes, I have the settings set, just working on getting it locked in the whiff.
Copy. Now, Vapor, good news. We are calling both of those bolts, M15 and M16, good. We will proceed. We'll have you release the ret from the left upper strut.
Okay. See, good bolts and all right, Marcos, I have 6 set on the whiff extender, good pull and twist test. I've got a golf on the pitch and a 5 on the extension. And I've got 12 Tango Tango box 12 on the APFR.
We copy, and I may have missed it, but can you confirm that the pitch knob of the APFR can be depressed?
Yes, I will go do that now.
And this view from Ayers' helmet camera as she works to continue the build of the upper triangle.
Marcos, the ret is off of the left upper strut. Got the MLI over the
And Vapor, I think I heard you say that you released the ret from the left upper strut.
And this view from McClain's helmet camera, we're getting a really breathtaking view of Earth. The International Space Station just flew over Grants Pass, Oregon. It's flying 261 statute miles overhead.
And I've got PGT settings for you, which should be Bravo 3 clockwise 2, so no change. Let me know when you're ready, and I'll give you more words.
Okay, I am ready for your words.
Are you going to be driving M13 and M14 to torque, and we expect an additional 20 turns.
The M13 and M14 to torque.
And for both Ann and Vapor,
the pitch knob can be depressed.
Copy Ann, pitch knob can be depressed. It's about a minute and 40 seconds till Tidra's handover.
Copy. And I've got Bravo 3 clockwise 2 set.
Copy Bravo 3 clockwise 2, drive M13 and M14 to torque.
Inward.
And then, Ann, for you, looks like you're setting up the APFR, and if that's complete, you can
Confirmed.
assist Vapor as needed. We might have some more words for you.
Copy. How's it going, Vapor?
And we are seeing that upper triangle that NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers has been working to build. She's wrapping up that task as we speak.
Are you still with us?
I am with you. Say again.
M13 was 8.18 additional turns. The green light is 8.3, 8.3. And these black lines, flush.
Vapor, I heard torque 18.3, turns 18, green light, black line flush for M13.
And we are in a brief handover period between our satellites, but we'll regain views here shortly. The team here in Mission Control Houston is being led by Flight Director Diana Trujillo today. You see a view of her there on your screen, as well as the ground IV, NASA astronaut Marcos Berrios. Berrios is interfacing with Ayers and McClain during today's spacewalk. We're now 1 hour and 20 minutes into the spacewalk today.
And in Vapor, we're back with you. Vapor, for M13, we copied 18.3 on the torque, 18 turns and a green light.
Vapor.
And Vapor, that's a turn short, but we're going to press to M14. So you can drive M14. It should be an additional 20 turns.
Okay, copy that. I've got Bravo 3, twice 2 set for M14.
Copy. And once we pick back up with you, I think I heard you say you're going to be working the IROSA cable.
Negative. Vapor went to grab those. I can assist where you need it, Vapor.
And we copy. Thanks.
Stand by 1 second. Marcos, for M14, I've got 18 additional turns, 1/8, 8.4 for the actual torque and the green light. The black line is flush.
18.4 on torque, 18 turns, green light, black line is flush.
I've rebased this off the width extender. Sure. Yeah, I've got the other end of the AET right here. I can take it. I've already read it to it. Okay.
And a Vapor, we are assessing. That's also turn short. And just in the meantime, we're trying to figure out good and bad times when we have comm with you. And so that last call was good comms. And so we don't know if when you rotate your head, the mic might get snagged with anything inside the helmet or the airflow. But we'll tell you when we have good comms, just so you can gauge what position that is.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. While you guys discuss the bolts, I'm going to pick up the cable.
Copy. And Vapor, those are good bolts for M13 and M14. So next for you is to just tend the EV3 PGT back to the strut bag unless you are moving it to the WIF-X.
And the PGT and torque wrench are on an AET to the WIF-X already. Sorry about that. Was calling. I think that when she's doing the bolt. And while I have you, Marcos, I'm redoing my glove check. It has no changes, and the one spot has had no changes to it. And my hat is dry.
Copy, good glove and hat check for you, and we copy that you've already transferred the EV3 PGT and torque wrench to the WIF-X. So next will be to copy the IROSA cable.
Copy, and Vapor is grabbing those right now.
After the completion of the upper triangle build by Ayers, she's now working to remove some of the cables that will be installed. You see her on the left of your screen there, gathering those cables.
I come this triangle back to her first.
And a bit of a better view there of those cables, specifically from Ayers' helmet cam.
Cables. On the mounting bracket, there's an oval cutout that has a adjustable free hook, and that's going to go on the D-ring on the adjustable that's on your cable.
Copy that.
These cables will be routed on the rollout, so will be routed for future installation for the rollout solar array.
Okay, the cables are on the adjustable, that's on the oval. Okay.
Copy, Vapor, and if you can, you can get...
And we were just getting a view of the solar arrays that the IROSA will eventually be placed over, so we'll stand by and potentially get another good look of that solar array location.
And Vapor, there should be one pre-installed wire tie per bundle that you can attach to the mounting bracket.
Yeah, that's in order.
And there we are getting a bit of context there of the solar arrays that are currently installed on board the International Space Station. The ISS rollout solar arrays are quite a bit smaller, but will actually provide more power for the orbiting laboratory once fully installed.
And
Today's spacewalk is occurring on the P4 truss of the International Space Station.
Yeah, I just moved. I'm going to put my safety tether, or waist tether rather, somewhere else so it doesn't do that again.
Once the modification kit is wrapped up and installed, the duo will translate to the P3 truss to complete the relocation of the Common Communication for Visiting Vehicles antenna, or C2V2 antenna, to ensure better redundancy for visiting spacecraft to the International Space Station.
think.
And you do see there in the center of your screen NASA astronaut Anne McClain. She is at the location where the triangle and mounting bracket that has been built will be installed. That's the mass canister of the Beta Gimbal Assembly, or BGA structure.
For EV2 while I'm working, or while Anne's working the.
And a bit of a better view there of NASA astronaut Anne McClain in the spacesuit with the red stripes, working to get into the articulating portable foot restraint, or APFR. That will help her as she works with Ayers to install the triangle on the mass canister of that Beta Gimbal assembly.
Hand the upper triangle to Anne, and we'll have more words for you with cautions before we proceed.
Yep, and before you just verify my feet, please. Yep, let me get into a better spot here where I can see.
And Anne, let us know when you have ingress. We have some more words for enhanced glove check.
Copy, and I'm just having Vapor verify my feet. I believe I'm in. Yeah, they both look from touch to your left heel, but your right heel is in. I'm sorry? Your left heel is touch to see, but your right heel is in. And I'm sorry, one more time on the left heel. Touch to see? Oh, touch to see. I see. Okay.
All right, and good job ingressing the APFR. Just make sure that the ingress 8 is tucked in towards you so it doesn't get in the way with the upper triangle. And once that's complete, let me know and I'll have words.
Yes, definitely. It's tucked right now, but don't hesitate to remind me over and over again. That thing has a way of moving around.
Copy, will do. So, Anne, for you, so right now what we would like you to do on your gloves, we'd like you to take your right glove palm up. We want you to flex your right index finger away, so overextend it, and provide that view to us via the HECA camera.
Okay, let me know. Is that a good view in the HECA?
That is a good view at the HECA.
Okay, and you can see the spot. Now I can see it even when I'm not moving it. When I was in the airlock, it was only when I was moving it. But there's flex down, flex back.
Copy, Anne. If you can maybe bring it closer to the HECA camera. It's a good relative position, just closer.
How's that?
That's a good view.
And teams here on the ground taking another look at Anne McClain's glove following a report of a slice in her right index finger prior to exiting the airlock. The team on the ground.
Copy, Anne. We appreciate that view. We are good with that glove inspection. We do ask that you perform the same type of inspection every time you do your glove check, but you do not need to show us on the HECA. You can just perform it yourself.
Understand. Thanks. I'll let you know if there's any changes.
Copy that.
Okay, Vapor.
And the team on the ground reports that the glove is looking good. McClain is in the articulating portable foot restraint and will receive the triangle from Ayers next.
Very slow, so slower than when you are translating with a strap bag on the BGA. Avoid cyclic loading on the mass canister in BGA. Max lateral loads is 40 pounds, and do not impart any forces into the mod kit struts before they're fully installed.
Give me one copy. Okay.
All right, next Vapor, you can present the left or non-tethered end of the upper triangle to Ann.
So let me know. I can't really see. We'll go in off here. Yeah, just 1 second. I'm getting my workstation. Okay, out of the way here. Walk up. Okay. Go up about another 12 inches, I think. I have a hand on it. Okay. All right. This isn't small, is it?
And Ayers has handed the upper triangle to McClain following her build of it.
Installing the center pad on the mass canister, arrow up.
McClain will now install it on the mass canister of the Beta Gimbal Assembly, or BGA structure.
Your mini workstation tabs, and for soft engagement left to right, which is what you're doing. And once that's complete, you can rotate the upper triangle so it's neutral and you have access to the bolts. And Vapor, since the EV3 PGT and torque wrench is already on the AET, we can have you go to the right saw bracket and get a visual alignment of the bearing. And just as an FYI, we've got that RET series from the bag to the mounting bracket that we want to keep eyes on as you go away and to the strut bag.
Okay. Center pad is soft dock. I'm going for my PGT, I believe. 2 turns on each.
It'll be alpha 2 clockwise 2, and is exactly 2
And this
turns on
view
each.
of Ann McClain's helmet camera as she positions the upper triangle on the Beta Gimbal Assembly.
All right, for the Fairchild fasteners.
If you're just tuning in with us this morning, we are 1 hour and 35 minutes into the 275th Spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. This morning, the spacewalking duo, which consists of NASA astronaut Ann McClain and Nichole Ayers, worked to build the upper triangle portion that you do see on your screen there that is going to be installed on the mass canister of the Beta Gimbal Assembly. The primary tasks for our spacewalkers today is to install this support bracket, which we call a modification kit, in anticipation of future solar array upgrades of the International Space Station Rollout solar arrays. The duo will also work to relocate a communications antenna called the Common Communications for Visiting Vehicles, or C2V2 antenna, to ensure better redundancy in communication with visiting spacecraft to the space station.
So you have a go to continue.
Okay, that's helpful. Okay.
Alpha 2 clockwise 2, and it's exactly 2 turns on all those bolts.
Alpha 2 clockwise 2, 2 turns. Because for EV2, the right stop bearing looks pretty thin. So it's at and parallel with.
And we copy Vapor, and just for your SA, that last comm is in and out.
Marcus, I have Alpha 2 clockwise 2 set, and for 2 turns on each.
Good words. And Vapor, we are now waiting for the center pad install before proceeding.
Copy that. I have 2 turns on M6 and M5, and for 2 turns on M8.
Copy, good turns on 5 and 6.
McClain now using the PGT or pistol grip tool to install the upper triangle to the mask canister.
Settings on the WIFX and the APFR.
I have 2 turns on 8 and 5, especially top back out. I don't think it was all the way in to get those 2 turns again.
And we concur, Ann, thanks.
Okay, I believe 6 now has 2 turns.
And copy, Ann, we're following.
All right, 7 has 2 turns. I believe now it's torquing alpha 2 clockwise 2.
Alpha 2 clockwise 2, M5 through 8 to torque. Expect an additional 3 to 8 turns.
Copy, and there's no order, right?
Order does not matter.
Copy. Starting with M6. Okay, M6 got 5 turns, 3.6 torque green light.
And Ann, we're checking. Give us 20 seconds.
Okay.
That's a good M6. You can proceed, Ann.
Copy, good M6. And Marcos, I have 3.7 torque green light and 5 turns on M5.
That is a good M5. Proceed.
Copy, good M5. Going with M8. There's 4.5 turns on M8, green light, 3.6 torque.
It's a good M8.
Copy. Last golden work. Okay, got exactly 4 turns on M7, 3.8 torque, green light.
And that's a good M7. And we'll have you check that the center pad MLI and the pit pins, 2 of them are still installed.
Copy, in work. All right, I see 2 pit pins in. Good job on the MLI vapors, nice and tight.
And with those 4 bolts being driven by NASA astronaut Ann McClain on the mask canister, the next steps will be to install the left and right lower and upper struts to continue to attach the triangle to the mask canister.
And if you agree, I think it's...
And that's a good upper triangle
Time to get out of the
install.
APFR.
And yep, you're going to get out of the APFR, and you will be changing the WIFX and APFR settings. First, WIFX is going to be shortened to an extension of 1.
Copy. Officially done. There's no workout at the gym that prepares you for that twist.
We are now 1 hour and 44 minutes into today's spacewalk. The crew is about 10 minutes ahead of the timeline. The upper triangle has successfully been installed to the beta gimbal assemble.
Here we go, I'm free.
And for the both of you, just be aware that you still have that ret going from the bag to the mounting bracket.
The crew will now proceed with the installation of the right lower strut and right mid strut on the right side of the mass canister before doing the same on the left side.
And just for your awareness, we turned your HECA off.
Copy, HECA off.
Looks like you're working the extension of 1. Just verify that the ingress 8 is clear of the upper triangle after that reduction in height.
Ingress 8 is sort of clear. Now it's clear.
Copy, thanks, Ann. And then we're looking for a pitch of Papa Papa and a roll of Charlie for the APFR.
Copy. 6 is at 1. Remind me, is the yaw still 6? Or 12, rather?
The yaw should still be 12, correct.
Okay. All right, so 12 Papa Papa, Charlie 12.
Good words.
There's Charlie 12. And you can see the...
And this view from Nichole Ayers' helmet camera as she works to get the right lower strut out of the bag.
Papa Papa.
There is a right lower strut and a right mid strut which will be attached on the right side of the mass canister to further secure the upper triangle that has previously been installed.
Yes, here. That was blind. All right, Papa Papa is set on the pitch on the EPFR, and the button can be depressed.
Copy, those are good settings. And in Vapor, appreciate that. And next for you is going to be a socket swap. You're going to swap to the 5/8 by 2 inch, which is in your trash bag.
Copy that.
And then Vapor, we are going to wait until Ann does that socket swap. She's going to ingress the APFR, and then we're going to verify access to certain locations on the mounting bracket before proceeding with the mid-strut and lower strut handoff.
Okay. And Marcos, if it's okay, I'm going to get in the APFR and then do the socket swap while I have two hands.
Sounds like a great plan, Ann. And just another reminder on the ingress 8 and the upper triangle.
Copy that. process for EVA. An update on the gloves. I've got a red smudge on my right index finger. It looks like the shirt marks from at the bag. And I've got several other black smudges on the tips of several fingers.
And Vapor, I think I heard you have several smudges, black smudges, on your gloves that you think came from the strap bag. Is that accurate?
Paper, mostly black and one red.
One black and one red. All right, we'll discuss you on the ground.
Marcus, it's several black smudges, not just one.
Copy. Several black smudges, and if you don't mind, if you can, one hand at a time, just put it over your heka. And that's a good view, Vapor. We see the red one, and we also see kind of two black on your right ring finger. And Vapor, appreciate those views. We are good to press it. We're being told that it's not uncommon to get smudges at the IEA. We'll keep you updated.
After that, thank you. You were just to the right of the two loop, like you might have yachted a little bit. Okay.
And Vapor, just as a reminder for you, we're just waiting on the ingress and socket swap, but if you have the bandwidth, you can help Ann with the ingress.
Copy. Work. There we go. The ret series is clear.
And
did you say you think it yawed? I think it did, yeah.
And Ann, we're seeing that your met rates are high, so we would like you to take a break. We'll let you know for how long.
Okay. Not surprised. And the yaw's the same. Now it's back at 12. Right? Yeah, it's at 12. Okay.
And Vapor looks like you're already doing it, but while Ann's taking a break, you can redo the APFR settings. So if you need those, I'll let you know.
Copy. I think the APFR set correctly. I think so too.
Disregard.
Now approaching the 2-hour mark of today's spacewalk. NASA astronauts Nichole, Ayers, and Ann McClain are working to install the right lower strut and right mid strut on the right side of the mass canister. Ayers has completed the build of the upper triangle, and McClain installed it following her build.
And we're going to hold you still for approximately 5 minutes. We'll let you know.
Okay, I understand. 5 minutes. Is there anything useful I can do during that time?
I think that's vapor.
Pictures, whatever minimizes your movement.
Copy and
Smile,
understand.
yeah. Laugh.
Back. So take in the views.
And McClain getting the opportunity to enjoy the views for a minute, as well as take some photos. The International Space Station is currently flying 272 statute miles off the southern tip of Africa.
And in Vapor, we have a couple recommendations for you for the APFR ingress for you two to work together. The first one is to lock out your safety tether in case that is creating moments and pulling you over. The second is for Vapor to, at a minimum, get eyes to guide you in and or physically be there to support if you need it.
Okay. Does that mean that we have a green light to go?
I'll give you how much time remaining here in 10 seconds.
Copy.
And just like that, 5 minutes are up.
Got a good view from here.
You have a go to continue. So next up, ingress to APFR.
NASA astronaut Anne McClain now going to work to get back into the APFR, or articulating portable foot restraint, there in the center of your screen.
2 minutes until TDRS handover. 2 minutes until TDRS handover. And Anne and Vapor, for your awareness.
That must have rolled because it's back in the center.
Anne and Vapor, it's a minute and 20 seconds until TDRS handover, but we'll also have a KU handover, so we're going to lose all video for approximately 30 minutes.
Copy. Tethers look clear on my legs. Apron. Yep.
And before this handover for the both of you, we'd like Vapor to come over and help out with the APFR ingress. We'll get you on the other side.
Move your left foot to the right a little bit. Your right foot is in the middle. Move your right foot to the right a little bit. Are you able to hear me fairly clearly? You come in a little broken. It kind of like takes a minute for your voice to break. Okay. I'll try yelling.
The C2V2 to communicate. Relocating this antenna will ensure better redundancy and communication with visiting spacecraft to the International Space Station. And there on your screen, you do see a glimpse of the spacecraft that are currently docked to the International Space Station. We have the Crew 10 spacecraft, which Anne and Nichole arrived on, as well as a cargo flight, a Cargo Dragon CRS-32, which just recently arrived. And we also have 2 Progress spacecraft stocks, as well as the Soyuz MS-27, which brought up NASA astronaut Johnny Kim.
I can hear you really quietly, Marcos.
And in Vapor, this is Marcos, radio check.
Very quiet. How do you hear him, Vapor? I've got you, yeah, very quiet.
And one more time, user error on my part.
Loud and clear. Same.
All right, we have words for you. So we're going to perform or at least check that you accomplished some of the cleanup steps that we asked you to do before. Then we're going to do a glove and hap check, and then we're going to proceed with C2V2.
Copy.
All right, so you can just confirm for us that the right mid strut was returned to the strut bag?
Confirm.
That the free rets from the strut bag were transferred to the cable bag?
Negative, we did not do that.
And there's no, and we copy add in Vapor, no need to do that now, and then that the EV3, PGT, and torque wrench were transferred to the cable bag.
Vapor.
All right, with that, we'll get a glove, hap, and gauntlet check from the both of you.
Hey, EV1. No change to the glove, and I did the extra check on that finger spot, and no change to it. And my gauntlets are in place. And half is dry. No change to the glove. Half is dry. Both are down.
Copy that from the both of you, and we're going to have you retrieve the APFR and put it on your BRT, and then you're going to be translating inboard. And Vapor, we're going to have you retrieve the WIFX after the APFR is off and stow that on your BRT. And so just for your situational awareness, we're essentially executing C2V2 as written, and we'll come back for more cleanup.
Copy.
And those words up to the crew, letting them know the plan forward. NASA astronaut Anne McClain is going to work to retrieve the articulating portable foot restraint, which you see her doing there on your screen now. Meanwhile, Ayers is reconfiguring the tool bag and ensuring things are in a good place before they move on to the C2V2 antenna relocation.
Get out of your way here. HFR set.
And it looks like McClain has successfully uninstalled that articulating portable foot restraint. She now has it tethered to her. You see it floating just behind her. We are now 3 hours and 2 minutes into today's spacewalk. Today's spacewalk is the 275th in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades.
And I have the HFR on my DRT. I'm releasing my rich man spare lead.
Copy, Ann.
I've got the WIFX on my DRT.
And we copy Vapor. And then the Vapor looks, next for you is going to be translating to the work site, but we'll want Ann to lead first to deconflict safety tethers.
Yep, copy that. Copy. Let me get the HFR in a better spot here. Your legs are just under a table, so you have to go. Oh, okay. Body up first. Okay. They know they're clear. Clear. Well, you're gonna have to go up and around. Yep. Here you go. Okay. Thanks. I like how my safety tethers are on the HFR standby one.
And at this point, NASA astronauts Ann McClain and Nichole Ayers are just working on completing the cleanup tasks ahead of moving into the Common Communications for Visiting Vehicle Antenna Relocation task.
Let's get it. This guy got locked out.
Good job, Ann. With that complete, you'll be headed inboard. You're going to be going back to phase 1 before going zenith and dropping off that APFR on with 10.
Copy with 10.
And NASA astronaut Ann McClain is now beginning her translation.
It looks like you're already doing it. You're going to follow Ann, but you're going to then continue aft of station to get to the work site.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the CC antenna in sight.
Ann McClain is continuing her translation process to install the articulating portable foot restraint at the new location. Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers is also beginning her translation process.
And Marcus, remind me exactly where I'm going up with mile marker.
You're going to be going up at the P1, P3 interface, so right when you see that DCDU, you'll be going zenith.
Okay. Okay.
Vapor, looks like you're making your way to the work site. Just real quick for you, since it's on your way, do not translate on the CAS, the Common Attachment System. That should be just outboard of the C2V2.
Copy. Yep, I'm zenith orbit already.
And we see you, and that is the correct translation.
Okay.
Once you reach the phase 2-3 edge, so the tippy top of station, you're going to be headed to with 10, which is back outboard.
Copy, I see it.
Copy, and then we'll like you to fair lead. There should be a handrail right at that P1, P3 intersection at the tippy top. We like you to fair lead your safety tether there just to make sure it stays away from the radiator.
Copy. And is that a rich man?
Say again?
Is that a rich man's fair lead you want?
Negative. It could be a poor man's.
Okay. Marcos, while EV1 is putting the QFR in, taking a look at these cables. Actually, so they're wire tied to this, or also wire tied to this. This if I just release the width wire tie, be able to move the antenna out of the way.
And Vapor, thank you for the view and those words. We concur with your plan where you're going to untie the cables at the base of the antenna, and that should give you enough room. And Vapor, just because you're working near the antenna, don't translate on the C2V2 boom. We've got the retroreflectors, and do not touch the glass. Don't touch the radome paint on the actual antennas. And then for the electrical cables, you want to ensure that you avoid the radii of less than 6 inches. And we see you working the APFR. Once that's secure and you think it's out of the way, you could head aft to the work site.
Copy. And does it matter if we just set it low profile? I know we have settings.
Checking and And those were good words. The actual settings don't matter as long as they're out of your way.
Copy.
And this view of NASA astronaut Anne McClain as she is working to install that articulating portable foot restraint. You can see she has the PGT or pistol grip tool attached to her side. This has been utilized quite frequently today during the spacewalk. And we are getting some views of the Earth as the International Space Station flies 268 statute miles over Argentina.
Could be from your side. Okay. Nicely done.
This view showing NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers on the right of your screen and Anne McClain on the left working together to relocate that Common Communications for Visiting Vehicles antenna.
Nice. See it. Stop, there. Looks like it said cross deck. Might work better from the other side, or I can try to come in from this side. There you go, nice job.
Nicely done, Vapor. And we're going to have you tend the boom and kind of head inboard, and then Vapor, you'll be grabbing the WIFX from your BRT.
And as you can tell on your screen, Anne McClain is holding that boom. They did successfully remove it from its current location. They're going to be moving it 1.5 feet over.
Vapor, it'll be a pitch setting of alpha.
Yeah, I've got alpha set.
Copy. Alpha clocking is going to be a 3, which is just pointing towards Anne in the same with 17.
Copy.
And extension of 1, which looks like you already have.
Paper. We're clocking a 3 pixel and foot test. The locking color is lock on black.
All right, that's great, Vapor. Next is going to be to install the C2V2 on the WIFX.
Cool. So this, I might need you to help push it. There's, I think some of the cable is pulling it back your way.
Yeah, actually,
So it's pretty strong.
now that we're here, I'm going to have to release. Yeah, it's just stay there one.
If you're just joining us this morning, we are 3 hours and 21 minutes into the 275th spacewalk in support of space station maintenance, assembly, and upgrades. NASA astronauts Anne McClain on the left of your screen and Nichole Ayers on the right of your screen are currently working to relocate a common communications for visiting vehicle antenna.
Pointed aft, which looks like it is.
By moving the antenna over 1.5 feet, it will ensure better redundancy for visiting spacecraft arriving to the International Space Station.
Wire tie might be causing some friction.
Prior to this, McClain and Ayers worked to complete the lower right strut installation on the mod kit. Given the higher priority of the C2V2 relocation task, the team stopped the work on the mod kit, cleaned up the IROSA work site, and is now moving on to the relocation task you see here.
All right. I think the black line is facing aft, 90 degrees from the extender black line.
Concur.
Copy orientation, copy pull and twist test, and then I may have missed it, but just the black on black.
Black on black.
That was the base of the, this was, or the,
Okay.
I know it was the wires. So we're going to have to get the wires so they're not moving.
You had a full twist on the width extender, right?
I did, yep.
All right, I'm going to release your rat.
Okay.
And I'm going to release my rat.
All right, next will be to recoil the cables and secure them with a wire tie. Right now we have handrail 3829, which is just beneath WIF 17, but Vapor and Ann, if you see a better place, we're open.
So I could do maybe one coil at 3829.
There's also a wire tie right at the base of the antenna that I could put another twist in and get the rest of this coil down.
Yeah, that's the original coil that I undid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So just put it back here.
Yeah. If you do that, I'll tidy this one up.
McClain and Ayers are now working to recoil cables and secure them with wire ties following the relocation of the C2V2 antenna.
And then there will be 1 to 2 coils at 3829 as well.
Copy that, Vapor, thanks.
All right, that's in.
Yeah, 2 minutes until handover.
Copy.
Once that's complete, we'll get a glove and hap check from the both of you.
All right, EV1 has a good glove check on the left and a good glove check on the right. The spot's getting worn a little bit, but it doesn't look any more severe than it has been. And I have.
And EV2, there's no change to the glove. Is your eye hat?
And we did just hear a good glove.
Copy. I will work a socket swap.
And this is a helmet cam from NASA astronaut Anne McClain as she works to translate to the P4 MMOD cover to remove that bolt.
Copy, Vapor. That's the correct location. Just want to give another big picture for both of you, Anne and Vapor. Vapor's working the jumper cable get ahead, and we're going to have you work the MMOD cover, and we might call you off when Vapor is complete with her get ahead. So we may not complete the MMOD cover, but right now the intent is to finish the jumper.
Okay, did you want me to not do the socket swap and go do like the push test on it so we get some data out of it?
And we prefer the socket swap right now, and then continue to get the data.
Copy, and work.
And Vapor, I'm back with you. You're at the correct location. I heard 158 and 157, and next for you is to tether to those dummy caps.
Okay. And I'm going to tether one at a time. I have one free in.
Copy that. Recommend copy.
Does the order matter?
Order matters for ease of install, so we would recommend 158 first.
I'm 3258 cap.
Copy the 158 cap. After that, you'll install the Canon connector tool onto 158. There should be a white...
Canon connector tool installed to the...
Yeah, and I think I heard that the Canon connector tool is installed to the Canon connector itself.
It's installed to the Canon connector cap, so release first.
And you have a go. Rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise.
And this view on your screen of NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers' helmet camera as she works to complete a get-ahead task to install a jumper cable, which is a DC to DC converter, converting power from the P6 truss to an acceptable voltage for the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Okay, cap is removed. The tool to 158.
Copy.
At this time, she is installing a Canon connector tool, which will help mate the new jumper connectors to each other.
Marcus, I have a 7/16 wobble socket on my PGT, good full test.
And copy, and next will be to translate to the Bolt 3 location, and let me know if you need words.
Okay. I know a couple options if you want to run them. I know we can come down the inside and then translate out. And that there's not a lot of handrails, if I remember.
We concur. So an option is to go zenith.
And here we are getting a view of both NASA astronaut Anne McClain on the left from her helmet camera and Nichole Ayers on the right as they both work to complete their respective get-ahead tasks. Anne McClain is working to remove a bolt on a micrometeoroid orbital debris area.
Marcus, while she does that, I have good pins to be in my bin.
She is going to use the PGT or pistol grip tool to complete that task.
Copy that.
Meanwhile, Nichole Ayers on the right is working with a Canon connector tool that you see there in the center of her screen. She'll use this to mate the new jumper connections, which will convert power from the P6 truss to an acceptable voltage for the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
Okay, so I have visual on bolt 3. These things go outboard of the trunnion pin, Marcus?
Say that one more time.
There's a structure with a trunnion pin. Is your recommendation to translate outboard of that?
And right now, we're being told that the recommendation is to first go inboard along the edge of the IEA, then go zenith, so it's in between the Sarge and the IEA, and then go outboard towards the Bolt 3 location, which is more or less midway.
So I was just able to come across shield fingertip to fingertip. Got it.
And that works for us, Ann.
And we are getting a view there of NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers, who is working on that jumper cable installation.
And we copy. And then just a note for you, Ann, that the bolts will pop up when they are fully released.
Okay, and so I'm ready for my Bolt 3 action.
Well, first we'll have you get stable, so BRT to handrail close by. We've got 5124, and we're going to perform the cover rigidity test.
Okay.
And it's a 5125.
5125, I'm there.
Marcos, I've got the P158 mated to J158. Good full test, and it's white on black.
And we copy Vapor. You have a go to continue with 157.
Okay, Marcus, I am BRT'd to 5125. I have a hand in the middle of the shield.
And Ayers is working to mate those new jumper connectors.
We are ready for you to press inward on the MMOD covered. So center between the micro squares like you have between the rivet lines. And then we'll ask you to describe the reaction.
Okay, let me go a little bit more if I'm going to get centered on those rivets.
Copy. And then,
so Marcus, I don't see any obvious motion.
Copy, no obvious motion.
I kind of pressed down on it and it didn't move, and then I kind of keep my hand on it and try to import a push force, and there's no noticeable motion to me.
Copy, push force as well as hand on it and no noticeable motion.
Now, the one thing I do notice, if I press toward the outboard, like 6 inches along the edges, it's solid. If I kind of push in the middle, I feel like a kind of a vibrating that comes. It's not actually moving. It just feels like there's a vibration that goes through it.
We copy. Would you say like a high frequency vibration?
I would describe it as such, yes.
And copy N, appreciate those words. We're checking. We'll have you stand by.
Please stand by.
And Vapor, just as a reminder, because I did not give it to you, on the demated Canon connectors, we don't want you to rotate the collar or manipulate the cable or the connector using the collar or the connector tool.
Look at that. And the hook on the Canon connector cap interfering with taking it off, so I'm swapping over to one of my rats. Leave some room here.
Vapor, we copy, you have a go, and Vapor, we have video back.
Copy.
And NASA astronaut Ann McClain is working through procedures to inspect the MMOD cover. She reported out her findings to the team here on the ground, who are discussing.
And we're still waiting on...
Meanwhile, Nichole Ayers on the right continues work to install the jumper cables.
All right, and...
Marcus, the DDC for cable has quite a bit of memory in it, so it's not going to lay flat like the picture had. It's kind of going to go up and around. You can see that in my head or not, but...
And Vapor, we have a good view on your HECA. We see it, and we might need to use a wire tie to secure that. After the installation. And we have a...
Kitchen, no file, the PDMI down.
Copy, Vapor. You have a go to install. And we have a go to proceed with you. So first is going to be to inspect the base of the Bolt 3 microsquare. And we're going to be inspecting for FOD or debris.
Copy. I see no FOD or debris on the inside of that bolt anywhere.
And Ayers has successfully mated one set of the jumper connectors. She's now working on the second.
Bravo 2, counter 2.
Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Ann McClain on the left of your screen is going to utilize the pistol grip tool for the next set of procedures for the bolt release.
And copy, Vapor. And we're discussing whether or not we need to tie down that jumper.
For your essay, there's not a whole lot of places I could go to the handrail 5243. That.
And Vapor, we like that location.
I'll put a wire tie on 5246.
And following mating the second set of jumper cables, Ayers is going to now secure that cord that you see on your screen with a wire tied to ensure it's not floating about.
3 exactly 2 turns, and we'll want a torque readout.
Copy, exactly. Okay, I have Bravo 2, counter 2 set. Understand exactly 2 turns. There's exactly 2 turns on bolt 3. It did not release.
Copy 2 turns, and we'll get your torque reading. And
Torque was 0.5.
Copy. All right, copy. And the bolt 3 did not fully release. We're going to be translating to bolt 4, which should just be inboard of bolt 3.
Okay.
Once you're at bolt 4, we'll just have you reset either the torque or the speed collar just so that you can clear the torque readings from your PGT.
Okay. Good.
McClain now translating to another bolt location. The bolt she was previously on, bolt 3, did not release following the pistol grip tool attempt.
All right, I see bolt 4.
Copy. Bolt 4. We'll have you inspect the base of bolt 4 for FOD and debris as well.
Okay. I also see no debris or FOD in bolt 4.
Copy. And we'll have you reset the torque or speed collar just so that we get accurate torque reading. And we're going to have you release bolt 4 approximately 9 turns, and it should be popping out.
9 turns.
And this view of NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers as she works to secure that cable there with a wire tie following the successful mating and connection of jumper cables to provide power from the P6 truss to an acceptable voltage for the Russian segment of the International Space Station.
I've reset the collar.
Meanwhile, NASA astronaut Ann McClain is working on removing a bolt on an MMOD cover.
Copy. Bravo 2, counter 2, approximately 9 turns. Bolt should pop out. And
Work. Okay, got the first double wire time. 243.
Just for me to call Johnny.
And Vapor, that looks good. We're going to have you make sure you have your Canon connector tool, the 2 caps, and any tethers from the jumpers on your person, on your mini workstation.
Okay. And Marcos, I did exactly 9 turns. It popped out at 8, and it has a 5.0 torque.
Copy. The bolt popped out. 8 turns, 5.0 on torque. We'll have you translate to bolt 1.
Copy, bolt 1.
Which should be just nadir.
I see both. Yeah, I need to go back out just to get my safety tether straight. Just for easy, I've got both adjustables, both Canon connector caps, and the tool all on my mini.
Copy. Vapor, you can start translating back towards the cable bag.
And with that, NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers is going to make her way back to the cable bag following the successful installation of the DDCU jumper cable, which will provide power from the P6 truss to an acceptable voltage to the Russian segment of the space station.
All right, I'm up the strap bag, coming back in. Bolt 1.
Copy. Vapor, you're going to be putting all of that equipment inside the cable bag.
Sorry, that was sorry. We've been told we sound alike. Yep. And we're both heading toward the cable bag.
I've got a
Great.
view in my Heka of the object cables, I think. You guys can see that.
We do, Vapor. We also have Johnny helping us out with a camera from the GEM, getting a really good view of the IROSA cables.
Awesome. Oh, tell them hi for us.
Oh, we could wave at them from here.
Yeah. Okay, I'm at bolt 1.
And we are getting a view here of the installation that was completed earlier today of the modification kit. You see that upper triangle that was built and successfully attached to the mass canister, as well as the right struts.
And you'll be releasing bolt 1 exactly 2 turns.
Exactly.
At this point, NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers is translating back over to that area to pick up a bag that will be going back with them inside of the airlock today.
Vapor, once you have put the tools and the caps inside the cable bag, we'll have you do another assessment on the IROSA cables and see if you believe that they would be a snag hazard to the keel pin that's on the IAA.
Okay, copy that. I'm going to hold at the inboard radiator side of the IEA just because our safety tethers already have one up in them, and I don't want to do it.
And we copy. Thanks, Vapor.
All right, I have counter 2, the Bravo 2, counter 2 set. And a little bit of a tough reach.
Copy Bravo 2, counter 2. You'll release bolt 1 exactly 2 turns after resetting the collar.
Copy in 2 turns, you said.
Affirm.
It's easy. So I'm hanging out here in my gloves. There's no change. Pistol set. That was for
Copy. No changes to your glove and hap.
If you're just joining us this morning, we are 4 hours and 28 minutes into today's spacewalk. NASA astronauts Anne McClain and Nichole Ayers successfully built and installed a support bracket called a modification kit on the 2A location of the International Space Station. The crew also worked to relocate a communications antenna called the Common Communications for Visiting Vehicles, or C2V2 antenna, to ensure better redundancy in communication with visiting spacecraft to the space station. Following this, jumper cables were connected to route power from P6 to the Russian portion of the International Space Station. And at this time, NASA astronaut Anne McClain is working on removing bolts from a micrometeoroid orbital debris cover.
All right, I got 2 turns on it. Bravo 2, counter 2, let me see the torque. Torque was 9.5, it felt higher.
Copy, 2 turns, torque of 9.5. We're going to have you translate to bolt 2. And it'll be similar.
Copy.
You'll inspect the micro square for fought or debris, and then we'll have you reset the collar.
Copy. All right, vapor, I got to check him out.
No worries, Marcos, for your guys' essay, I'm climbing up to the A-frame here. I can get a good view of the cables while I wait.
Appreciate that, Vapor.
And Marcos, you said bolt 2, right? Our last bolt?
A-firm, bolt 2 is the last bolt. You would just be heading outboard from bolt 1.
Okay, I'm there, and it is free of pod, and I've reset the collar.
Copy. With the same settings of Bravo 2, counter 2, you're going to release bolt 2 exactly 2 turns.
Copy exactly 2.
And McClain now working to remove the last bolt on this cover.
Okay, I have 2 turns on bolt 2. Running torque was 4.8.
2 turns, 4.8. Copy, Ann.
Good.
And you can appreciate the work on that get ahead. We can have you stow the PGT and do a glove and hap check for us.
Copy. Does appear to be no change. And dry hap.
Copy, and after you've stowed your PGT, we'd actually like to do the cover rigidity test again, and so we'd have you translate to bolt 3.
Okay, can I do it from the zenith side instead, since it's kind of in the center?
A-firm, and those are good words. You can do it from there.
Okay, awesome, thanks. A little bit of a tricky translation. Okay, I am there.
Copy, Ann. Let me give Vapor some words here. Vapor, so we have looked at the IROSA cables, and we would like the end configuration to look like the following. We want both bundles as well as where the NZGLs are. We want those in a more flat configuration and more kind of parallel to the mounting bracket.
Yeah, I'm saying what you guys are saying. They're all breaking the plane of the keel pin.
A-firm, that's exactly our concern.
I understand the issue. Yeah. You might be able to just translate a sphere over there. That way I can...
And Vapor, just as a reminder, you can translate on the lower right strut, given the instructions we said before, parallel to it, very slowly, avoid torsions, but you will not be translating on the mounting bracket. And 2 minutes for Tedra's handover. And we are back with you.
And with those words, NASA astronaut Nichole Ayers is going to work to reconfigure cables that were previously secured there to the mounting bracket on the lower left of your screen. They're going to make them just a little bit more flush, not sticking out quite as much.
I guess in a little bit of a different spot, I get a little bit of a vibration. Yeah, if I go more inboard, I still get the vibration. If I'm right on where the double sets of rivets are in the center, I do not. And the rivets is where I got it before. Now it's a little bit inboard. Makes sense?
And we copy all. That's a good description, and we are complete with this get ahead.
Okay. Is there anything I can do to help?
Kind of a one-person job, climbing up this track.
Yeah.
If I can get through here.
And we're discussing.
And NASA astronaut Ann McClain successfully removed bolts from that MMOD cover and inspected it, completing that get-ahead task.